Got another must-see Halloween house for you. This is one. It's called the Pumpkin Riot Productions.
Ah, Plainfield, Illinois. A quaint little city with a population around 48,000. You would never know by its charms that something sinister lurks within one of its neighborhoods during the month of October. What is this terror lurking in the shadows of the city? Well, that would be Pumpkin Riot Productions, and they and their monsters that they have brought to life will waste no time in scaring the living daylights out of you. Will you join us tonight on this fright-filled nightmare through the fears that await us at Pumpkin Riot Productions? Meet Brian, the mad scientist behind the creations that are found lurking in the dark corners of Plainfield, Illinois. Brian found a passion for Halloween while growing up at home. Brian recounts, "I grew up in a household where we celebrated Halloween bigger than Christmas, including a large yard display." He was just 10 years old, and he worked tirelessly alongside his mom to make the best spooky display. At 31 years of age, Brian would start doing his own display, and thus Pumpkin Riot Productions was officially unearthed from its grave.
Tell us about you and your personal love of Halloween.
Brian answered with the following. "I'm married to a beautiful, witchy wife and have 2 great kids. We all love Halloween, but it is I who is in the Halloween mindset all year round. Halloween has evolved from being a fun time putting on a display to venturing down the path of becoming a Halloween monster prop making business. I enjoy designing and making monsters more than actually building the display. But the display allows me to bring it all together. I've been building props for about 4 years now and been sculpting my own monsters for over a year."
What inspired you to start your display?
As previously mentioned, Brian worked with his mom on countless displays throughout the years, helping bring a much-needed fright to his family's neighbors. The years would see many fun times for Brian and his mom. After his mom passed away, Brian inherited all of her props and decorations, fueled by legacy. Brian wanted the tradition to live on. He states, "First year I put up all of her props and decorations with some masks purchased to replace some old masks she had on the props. After the first year, I began getting my own ideas on the direction where I wanted to take the display. We are going into year 5 in 2023, and the display has aggressively expanded to say the least. We aim to have our display this year almost all being handmade, from sculpting the prop heads of clay, molding them to create the latex mask. 2023 will be the first year we are exploring handmade animatronics." Brian is no doubt making his mom proud year after year with his endless creativity with Pumpkin Riot Productions.
Fueled your love for Halloween.
Brian had this to say on this question. "The memory of my mom fuels my love for Halloween. She was an artist, and Halloween was her favorite holiday. We can certainly see the love and energy that Brian has poured into his display. Brian continues, I watched and rewatched all the Boris Karloff and Bela Lugosi classics growing up. Like all of us, it seems Pumpkin Riot Productions is no stranger when it comes to getting a kick out of a little self-inflicted terror. Brian reflects on other pioneers in the industry. I enjoy haunted houses and seeing what ideas they come up with in regards to the effects.
Is your display a yard hunt, a haunted house, or both?
Pumpkin Riot Productions can safely say it is just a yard haunt. But what a yard haunt it is! It has everything that you could ever need to send a shiver up your spine. Brian says, it is a yard haunt. I don't know if I would ever go further than that. Sighing, he adds, if anything, I wish I just had a larger yard for the display. Like any good haunter, Pumpkin Riot Productions is forward-thinking and always thinking how they could improve the display and expand.
When do you start? And how long does it take to set up your display?
It takes about a month to set up the display, Brian, the mastermind behind Pumpkin Riot Productions, states. We start putting things out about the last week of August or the first week of September, depending on the design of the display. Even Jack Skellington would respect that type of commitment, we dare say.
Do you build any of your own props?
This was probably the most rhetorical question asked to Brian, as the name of his Halloween empire is quite literally Pumpkin Riot Productions. Brian is a mastermind and has created a vast amount of props all by himself. Brian says, and I quote, I build all the props now, including the heads themselves and the body parts if needs be. It almost sounds like Brian should nickname himself Dr. Frankenstein.
It's alive! It's alive!
Continuing, Brian reveals, I sculpt for months, plaster the sculpts to make molds, and take the molds to make latex foam-filled replicas of the sculpts. I will paint the prop heads and then build the bodies using PVC as my skeleton structure. I will go from there depending what kind of monster it's going to be and how large. This amazed us, as Brian is not only a haunter, he's a visionary. I visit the hardware store and craft stores often during the summer, to say the least. Of course, every Dr. Frankenstein has their favorite Frankenstein monster. When Brian was asked which prop was his favorite to build, he had this to say. Riot Jack is by far my favorite build because it was my first prop. I built it completely from scratch, from sculpting the jack-o'-lantern prop head to the body itself. As you can see, everything Brian touches seems to turn to gold. He also added, I have built a lot of props in a short period of time these past few years. Fondly he recollects how his audience has reacted to his scorched witches. They are always a crowd favorite, he told us. Since Pumpkin Riot Productions are masters of creating things that go bump in the night, we push for further questions regarding the props they create. Brian was all too eager to fill us in with more details. He had this to say. The monsters we make for our haunt are original monsters, one of a kind. We sculpt from clay to plaster, the final sculpt, and we use the negative mold to make a latex foam replica. I'll use PVC to make the body, and motors to make it move depending on what kind of monster it's going to be. That could either be a static, which is a non-moving, or an animatronic, which is a moving prop.
You may release enough to branch out and create patches of their own.
Now for the fun details of the trade. Brian lets us peek behind the torn, tattered curtains of Pumpkin Riot Productions. I'll airbrush the paint, and we make the clothes. He continues, we use PVC for a lot of monsters as the skeletal structure. We are sure no puns intended here, right, Brian? I will build off of that structure and use a lot of hardware and craft supplies to build the body. Now let's take a look into the sinister pumpkin patch of Pumpkin Riot Productions. Brian let us in on a little secret of theirs. We sprayed the inside of our pumpkins with a UV neon orange paint of our own mix. We are guessing this mixture is as top secret as the Krabby Patty formula. We won't pry, Brian. We shine a black light onto the neon of the pumpkins to make them appear glowing like jack-o'-lanterns. It is now sounding like Brian is not only Dr. Frankenstein, but the Pumpkin King himself. Pumpkin Riot Productions has some great props that they have picked up from Toxic FX, Distortions Unlimited, the Vault Mask Company, as well as a few prop pumpkins from Closed Casket Productions that are all still used for their haunt. Brian wanted to add one last important tidbit. Pumpkin Riot Productions and the haunt we put on each year is meant to be family friendly. We don't do the blood and gore. At Pumpkin Riot Productions, we aim to be spooky, eerie. Well, mission accomplished, Brian. We definitely get that vibe, and we are sure it is an aesthetic the whole family can enjoy. Brian continues. Nothing against good old blood and guts in a haunt, but we want to put out something that makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up, and give you that feeling that you're not sure why they are standing up. We aim for that uneasy/eerie feeling, like a Halloween scary. Several thousands of dollars have been poured with love into this display. It is not cheap, and we do our best to repurpose props and hand make everything. Even then, materials to make and build, and the lighting effects are a big cost to us. Money well spent, Brian. Money well spent.
What would be the most obnoxious thing you have to deal with regarding your Halloween display?
Pumpkin Riot Productions, like so many other haunters, has the bad taste of rotten caramel apples in their mouth that can only be brought on by the weather that does not wish to cooperate. Brian remorsefully answered with the following. Midwest weather is always a love-hate battle when it comes time for Halloween season. I do my best to weatherproof everything and make sure everything is stable. October likes to bring the random hurricane like Gus and the thunderstorm some years. Brian recollects a memory that he has of his battle against the weather. I have stood on a ladder before, placing trash bags over props. I have pounded 2x4s and props while being rained on.
What do you do special for Halloween night?
First off, I would like to add that we foolishly asked Pumpkin Riot Productions if Halloween was their favorite holiday. Brian laughed and said, "Is that a rhetorical question?" Continuing with his laughter, Brian finally answered with, "Yes, I love horror movies, witches, candy, and everything that comes along with Halloween. So what could someone who loves Halloween so much, of which the holiday literally runs through his blood and has been a legacy passed on from generation to generation, do on Fright Night itself?" Pumpkin Riot Productions had this to say. Halloween night is our Super Bowl. The lights and the effects are turned on at noon. I like to add in a new extra prop or two that was not in the display all season. Sounds like if you want to see every single ghoul and goblin Pumpkin Riot Productions has to offer, if you are able to, make sure to pen them into your schedule for Halloween night.
What are your new plans for Halloween season 2023?
Pumpkin Riot Productions has once again allowed us to peel back the creepy cloth and take an inside peek of what the Halloween season of 2023 holds in store. 2023 is a big year for Pumpkin Riot, Brian begins. We have new monsters, our first handmade animatronic, and new effects. Similar themed haunted pumpkin patch, but different in a way from the previous years. We got rid of a lot of store-bought items we had left and aimed for the display to be about 95% handmade by us. We want to put something out there you can't buy in stores or see in any other haunt. We have to say Pumpkin Riot Productions for sure seems like something you need to check out. Brian, the mastermind behind Pumpkin Riot Productions, says, anyone who enjoys our display and would love to show their gratitude can donate to a charity that helps prevent bullying at don'tbeamonster.org. We have put the charity's link in the description if you wish to donate on Pumpkin Riot Productions' behalf. Please support the cause if you are able to. What makes Brian smile at the end of the day regarding his props and display? He answers with a smile. Watching people come and enjoy it. It is always the ultimate payoff. I can safely speak for all haunters when I say we build our displays because it's fun, and watching the reactions of families is the best part. Pumpkin Riot Productions recollects, We had the largest crowds by far in 2022. I hope everyone comes back to see what we brewed up for this year. I am part of the Chicago Haunt Builders and have been with them for a few years now. It is a large organization of haunters around the Chicago region. It is a group of like-minded Halloween obsessive weirdos.
Pumpkin Riot Productions is typically open in October every day. The lights, fog effects, and animatronics typically begin at 7 p.m. till 10 p.m. The hours are even extended on the weekends. Brian and the others at Pumpkin Riot Productions would like to remind everyone visiting, I have only 5 simple rules for the people who decide to pay us a visit. 1. Don't touch the display. 2. Take as many photographs as you want. 3. Be respectful of our neighbor's property. 4. Feel free to ask me questions or chat with me if you see me. 5. And again, don't touch the display. You can find Pumpkin Riot Productions on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. They post all year long as they love showing the fans what new monsters are being worked on. Their handles are displayed here on the video. Please give them a follow on each platform. Remember, you can always direct message Pumpkin Riot Productions if you find yourself in Plainfield, Illinois and want to ask for their address of the display if you would like to pay them a visit.
And remember, there's scare in the air!
Like a pumpkin on Halloween night, don't forget to smash that like button by clicking the thumbs up icon. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the newest uploads. Please also show Pumpkin Riot Productions some love by leaving a comment of what part of their haunt you love the most. We'll be posting more Halloween-related videos, theme parks, and other pop culture videos frequently, so stay tuned!